let's dive right in. So our first presenter for this evening is Emma McGraw from Sherman. Take it away, Emma.
All right, let me just get my screen going here. Okay, so my name is Emma McGraw. I am from Sherman. I will be a senior this year at Katahdin Middle and High School. I've grown up my whole life around this area, so I've been really fortunate to experience Baxter throughout my childhood and to be in a generally wooded area. So nature has always been a big part of my life. So through this program, my focus study was photography. It was just a hobby of mine. I'm very amateur, but I thought I would take this opportunity to learn some more about it and just document where I was exploring throughout the park. So that is what you will be seeing, just a portfolio of all of my pictures that I've been taking and where I went. So week one, I was camping at Madigan Campground, which is right near the Madigan Gate up at the north end. So all the stuff that I did was in the north end of the park during this week, and you'll notice that most of my pictures are in black and white. I just thought I would start out with that the first week just to get kind of used to it, and I did a lot of study on a famous nature photographer called Ansel Adams. So just kind of with his style, thought I would do some black and white. So here we have Tropic Farm Campground. It's about 2.6 miles from the gate there at the north, and you can see they have beautiful fields there, and there's some canoe access right into Brook that's right by it that will take you right to Grand Lake Madigan, which is right by the gate there. And we can see some pictures of the brook out back there. There's a bridge that crosses it, and that'll lead to the Freeze Out Trail that will go all the way over to Webster in the northwestern side of the park. So some photos of that, and some wildflowers that I found throughout the day. We have some tall meadow rue and just your typical oxeye daisies. It's just the common daisy that you'll find. And took a drive into South Branch Pond. It's about 9.5 miles. There'll be a spur road off of the tote road, and up in the left from the pond we see the Traveler Mountain Loop, and then South Branch Mountain Loop over here. Great for a canoe, or it's got some great swimming there and fishing, and you can canoe up to, there's an upper pond up there as well. So then I did some hiking on Horse Mountain, and then you can continue past that down to Bellfish Pond, which is one of the 5 ponds. It's not a very large mountain. It's only it's a little bit over 1,500 feet in elevation. So here we have a picture of the trail there. And at the top, at the summit, there's not very good of a view. It's mostly like a lot of trees. So there is a spur trail before it to an overlook, and you can see over there that's a little bit of the Bellfish mountain range. So that's the view that you'll get if you're hiking that. And then some plants for the day. We have some bristly club moss over to the left and some hobble bush on the top right, and just an eastern white pine cone on the bottom right there. And so here we have Bellfish Pond. This was actually really cool. That does have backcountry site opportunity and canoeing port there, but this pond is actually like insanely deep. Its max depth is about like 84 feet, which is pretty incredible when you're looking at it there. You just see how shallow it is, but it's got an incredible drop off in the middle. So it's actually the second deepest, right next to Grand Lake Madigan. And so I thought that was pretty cool, and we can see that Bellfish Mountain range there in the background as well. And tons of dragonflies there. We have a chalk-fronted corporal, and that would normally be like a light blue on its body there. And then some wildflowers. I have orange hawkweed to the left there. The top right is self-heal, or also heal-alls, they're called that, and they're usually like a light purple. And then we have just your common buttercup on the bottom right. And then I did do the 5 Ponds Trail. It's about like 5.7 round trip. There's not much elevation, so pretty easy hike. So that's the trail there, some more plants. It was a very rainy day when I went, which still gave me some good photography opportunities. So eastern white pine, we see the tassels with the water droplets in it. And this is a quaking aspen leaf here with some water droplets on it as well. And so the ponds that you'll find there will be, the first one will be Littlefield Pond, then Bellfish Pond is one of them, and then a smaller one called Round Pond, and then High and Long Pond are right beside each other. So this is Long Pond, see the Bellfish Mountain Range again. And there is backcountry site here as well, and canoeing, so obviously and fishing opportunities. And then got to see a whitetail there at the end of the day. So that's back at Tropic Farm Campground. So that trailhead will be right across from the campground there. And we got to see one actually the next day as well. So, and then hiked down to Lower Fowler Pond. We used the Five Ponds Trail and then came out Fowler Brook Trail, but if you just use Fowler Brook Trail, it's only about 1.3 miles into the pond. So got to see a Luna moth there, and then just a typical American toad. And then also backcountry site and canoeing as well here. See the Bellfish Mountain Range. And then that would be Bald Mountain, which is actually outside of the park, so you can see all the way out of the park from there. And then Fowler Brook, which there's just a little spur that you can see that off of the trail. And then wildflowers for the day. We have some sheep laurel here. It's actually more of like a low-lying bush, but the blooms on it are considered a wildflower there. And yellow toadflax, which is more commonly known as butter and eggs. And coming in on week 2, I got a chance to go to the southern end. So I did the Cranberry Pond and Rum Pond trails, make a nice loop, both generally short, under 2 miles each. Stopped at Toad Pond there before the gatehouse, and great opportunity for swimming. They have nice sand beaches there, and one of the few that you can take, motorboat on if it's 10 horsepower under, along with, Grand Lake, Matagamon, Nessadahunk, and Webster. So there's that. And then the lower side of the pond, and just some more pictures there, nice sand beaches. And onto the trail. We see a big-tooth aspen leaf this time, still with some dew from the morning. And Cranberry Pond, kind of cool ecosystem here. Got some unique plants around there, pitcher plants here, just your common one on the left, and then a northern one on the right. They're carnivorous, so they will trap flies and conveniently use the water that they suck up from the pond to drown them, and then use their nutrients. So that's how they survive. And then Caverly Pond is right before the trail for Rum Pond, so that had a beautiful view of Katahdin there, and also has canoeing opportunity there. And then we have the Rum Pond Trail, very, very pretty, almost storybook-like. And then we have Rum Pond. There's not really a trail down to it. You just kind of walk through the woods a little bit. Lots of dragonflies here as well. We have a beautiful calico pendant here, some cool markings on the back and the wings. And then some wildflowers. We have round leaf at the top left, a round leaf wintergreen, and then at the bottom it's also wintergreen, it's a spotted wintergreen. And then top right we have woods rose, and then bottom right we have a false violet, also called dewdrops. And then also got a chance to head into the Wadley Brook Trail. It's in the north end, up in the SFMA. This is the trail that during the Northern Crew we worked on last year, so got a chance to go check that out again. And heading into week 3, did the Traveler Loop. So that was very cool experience. The views are absolutely breathtaking, and it's a bit of a hike. It's in the north end. It's right around the South Branch Pond there to the left, and made up of 3 peaks, and it's got a good range of different terrains, and it does take about a day. It's a little over 10 miles in all, so takes anywhere from like 7 to 10 hours, so definitely a day trip. So here we have the view of the ponds there below, and then the South Branch Mountain and Black Cat mountain across the way there. So this is going up Peak of the Ridges. So we started at the Peak of the Ridges side, and Peak of the Ridges, a little over 3,200 feet. So this is the view out towards, you can just barely see Katahdin over there. So that would be like Russell Pond area, Wasatacook Lake, so that valley down in there. And then this is a view out towards Traveler, so that ridge that you walk along after you get to the top of that. And then we have the Traveler, which is a little over 3,500 feet. So that would be the view back towards Peak of the Ridges, and then out towards North Traveler, which would be the third peak. A little fun fact, it is Maine's tallest volcanic mountain. So these mountain ranges were formed by a volcanic activity a long time ago. So it's pretty cool. And then we have North Traveler, a little over 3,100 feet in elevation. So that would be out towards the Wasatacook Lake area as well. So, and then we have the view back outside of the park, so towards like Grand Lake Matagamon area on the other side of the peak. And then some wildflowers for the day. Got some fireweed on the left, and just your common northern wood sorrel on the right. And then got a chance to go down on the southern end again, go to A-Ball Pond. So did the Kettle Ponds Trail, and then did the loop with the A-Ball Pond Trail and A-Ball Stream Trail. Make a nice loop. Each of them are pretty short as well, each under 2 miles, so they make a good loop there as well. So that's a picture of the Kettle Ponds Trail there. And so here we have A-Ball Pond, nice picnic area there, beach area, some wildflowers for the day. The top two I found right at A-Ball Pond, and then the bottom two will be just from on the trails. So we have marsh skullcap on the top left, and then pickerel weed on the top right. And then bottom left will be just your common St. John's wort. And then bottom right, we have spotted knapweed. And got some pictures of the burn area around Lake AT. It touched Foss and Knowlton, Blueberry Ledges, A-Ball Pond, and A-Ball Stream Trails. That was back in May, so we see some of the damage that it caused here. Makes great subject matter for photography, but it's really sad to see here on this birch bark some burn damage there. And then week 4, got a chance to do Blueberry Ledges. Most people just do it from the southern end, which is a little over 2 miles, but you can go from the north end too. It connects right to the Park Tote Road, so that's about 3 miles from the top, so I decided to do that. And it's a little more wooded of a trail, but definitely just as beautiful. So where you park is at Katahdin Stream Campground, so got some pictures of Katahdin Stream there while I was there. And then some pictures of the slides there. It's a very beautiful day. And some falls there. You can hike up to the top of the slides there. And some wildflowers. Lussel purple fringed orchid, so it's a type of wild orchid. And then some steeple bush. And one of my favorite photos, the reflection of the sky in one of the puddles there on the rock faces. So. And then got into Dacey Pond and hiked down to Lost Pond and Foss and Knowlton Pond, all the way out the park. So that all the way down is a little over 7 miles. So, and got to see a New England cottontail in the morning there at the parking area for Dacey Pond. And so here's a picture of Dacey Pond there in the morning. You can see the mountain there in the background. And there were lots of water lilies there, so fragrant water lily. Definitely worth the wade to go out and get a picture of it. And we have from the side of the pond there, we can just barely see Double Top over there, and then the OGI Mountain Loop over here, so OGI Mount Co, and then North and South Brother over there. And so here's a picture of the Lost Pond Trail. It's almost 2 miles down to that past Dacey Pond. Here's a picture of that. Canoeing opportunities at both Lost Pond and Foss and Knowlton Pond, and good for fishing as well. And so a picture of the Foss and Knowlton Trail here. That's another almost 2 miles to a spur trail that goes off to it, and then it's another like 0.3 down into where you can canoe there. And so there's a picture there. Little lily pad shaped like a heart. And then as you hike around the pond, there's multiple viewpoints. So here's one from the side of the pond. And then there's this old sunken boat there. It's old and metal and rusty. And I thought, you know, I gotta get a picture of that too. So that was cool to find. And then here is from the edge of the pond there before you go back in the woods of Katahdin. And then found some pearly everlasting on the trails. And then this would be the viewpoint right as you're coming out of the park. So down like, you're almost near A-Ball Bridge Campground. So you're out of the park and there's a viewpoint right there at the bridge where it crosses over A-Ball Stream right there. So from Foss and Knowlton, it's another like 2.3 miles down to where you connect to like the AT and get right down there to the end of the park. So, and then week 5, I got a chance to go to the south again. I went into Elbow Pond, Daisy Pond again, and Grassy Pond. Also did Little A-Ball Falls, as we see here, just a short little trail accessible at A-Ball Campground. It's about 0.8. Just a nice, easy hike. Pools there were really pretty. The water's very clear, very cold. And so here we have the Elbow Pond Trail. It's about 1 mile into Daisy using this trail. So here we have Tracy Pond, which you come upon first before Elbow Pond. And then Elbow Pond, and we see that mountain range again, that same view that you can see from Daisy. And then after Daisy, it's about 0.5 out to Grassy Pond. So here we have a picture of that, a great view of Katahdin, and got a closer one here as well. So it was really, really beautiful there. Just a candid of an old dead tree there. And then I went into Sandy Stream Pond as well that same day. So we see that here. We can see the Katahdin over here, and then the Great Basin, North Basin, Hamlin, and then the North Peaks over there, and that would be South Turner Mountain over there. So just a short little hike. It's about 0.4 into this little viewpoint that you can look at out at the mountain. So got there just a little bit in time for sunset. So some nice pictures there. And then also did Barrel Ridge that week. It's up at the north end. The trail for it's accessible right at South Branch Pond at Campground there. It's about a little over 3 miles to the peak there. Found some bird's foot trefoil there. And here is the view from the peak there. And so over here you'll see Big Peaked Mountain, and then over here more would be Little Peaked Mountain. And that's a little over 2,000 feet there. And so wrapping up, we had to write a series of quotes here for just the end, and I thought that this one pretty much summed up my experience in the program this year. What I've enjoyed most about the program this year was the opportunity to immerse myself in a truly magnificent obsession. How incredibly the park has enriched my life was something I didn't know I needed. So it just, I'm so thankful for this opportunity to really get to explore more of Baxter and to learn more about it and just experience its beauty and to be able to share that with all of you and with others. And it's taught me so much that I'll be able to teach to others and to carry with me for the rest of my life. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Emma. Great job. So thanks, everyone. Yeah, you're getting some nice, thanks those of you responding in the chat. Well done, Emma. So if you have a question for Emma, please go ahead and raise either your real hand or your virtual hand, whatever works best for you, and we can check. But before we dive into questions, Emma, I just want to say, like, having you guys out in the park for so many hours, I knew you guys would learn a lot, but in your presentation, you had a plant that's never been recorded in the park before. So you just added a new species to our field guide. So anyway, well done. I've been trying for years to do that unsuccessfully, and you found spotted knapweed. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was right on the A-Ball Stream Trail. So right when
Great.
getting back there. So
Yeah, fantastic. Well, great job. So who has a question? Who has a question for Emma? Sylvia?
Do you know like around how many miles that you hiked? Because that seems like you hiked a lot.
Like a lot. I did not add it up, but if I had to, I hiked probably like an average of 15 each week. So if that's like 5, it's probably around 75.
Wow, good for you, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles. Great job.
Thank you.
Other questions? I know we have some photographers on the call. Oh, yeah, Ken.
Yeah, did you live in the park all that 5 weeks you were there? Yeah, you did a great program. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. How far of a drive was it, Emma? From you must have put a lot of time in the car to cover all that ground. Did you? How much time did you end up camping some of those nights, or were those mostly day trips?
Those were all day trips. Obviously, with the first week, it was a lot easier because I was right at Madagamon, but I pretty much live in like the least optimal spot. I mean, it's about the same to travel either to the north end or the south end, so it's not too much of a difference there, but it's about an hour each way, so I definitely put in a lot of driving time to go in, so yeah.
You covered a lot of ground, and you've developed an encyclopedic knowledge of the park too. Any other questions for Emma? No. All right. Yeah, Mary, you have one?
First of all, Emma, you could see, it was amazing. You could see how much more comfortable you got with the camera through the progression of the 6 weeks. It was wonderful. And I love your plant portraits. The wildflowers and everything were really great. What was your favorite thing to photograph?
I would definitely say wildflowers. As you could tell, I had a lot in my presentation. I just was fascinated with them. I really love flowers, so that was something that I looked forward to every day, was just getting to see new wildflowers and like just seeing the progression of them and how some would pass and like what would pop up each new week that I was there. So definitely probably wildflowers, I would say, was my favorite.
And you were great at shooting water. The light and reflections you were getting in your water shots were just beautiful.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. Any other questions? All right, great.